Maybe that's all. I deal with the East region, we have those three right now, that deals with the.
Whenever you're ready.
Painter's on.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. I call the meeting to order. Welcome to our October 6th meeting of the Town of Ocean Ridge. Kelly, would you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Hutchins,
Here.
Commissioner Ayala,
Here.
Commissioner Cassidy. Here. Vice Mayor Cos.
Here.
And Mayor Pugh.
Here. All right, stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. One nation, indivisible, liberty, and justice for all. All right, we've got the agenda in front of you. Is there any additions, deletions, or modifications? All right, hearing none, anybody make a motion?
I move we accept the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion second, any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we're on to our presentations and proclamations. Kelly?
All right, we've got the Florida City Government Week of October 20th through the 26th of 2025. Whereas the city government is the government closest to the most citizens and the one with the most direct daily impact upon its residents. And whereas municipal government provides services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents, making their city their home. And whereas city government is administered for and by its citizens and is dependent upon public commitment to and understanding of its many responsibilities. And whereas city government officials and employees share the responsibility to pass along the understanding of public services and their benefits. And whereas Florida City Week offers an important opportunity for elected officials and city staff to spread the word to all citizens of Florida that they can shape and influence this branch of government. And whereas the Florida League of Cities and its member cities have joined together to teach citizens about municipal government through a variety of activities. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Pugh, as mayor and on behalf of the other commissioners, do encourage all citizens, city government officials, and employees to participate in events that recognize and celebrate Florida City Government Week. The Town of Ocean Ridge encourages educational partnerships between city government and schools, as well as civic groups and other organizations.
All right, thank you. All right, we're moving on to Amy Kemp from FPL, presenting the Storm Secure Underground Program. Welcome.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. It's a pleasure to be with you all this evening. My name is Amy Kemp, and I serve as your local government affairs liaison on behalf of Florida Power and Light. And we're very pleased to give you a quick overview of the Storm Secure Underground Program. It is a reliability-driven program that is specifically focused on undergrounding the FPL power lines at no additional cost to customers. The Town of Ocean Ridge was selected based on a few reliability metrics. And so you'll get to hear a little bit about what the process entails. We are already well underway, about 30% or so within the project, but we wanted to make sure that you were informed as officials as well as the public. With me today, Carlos Nunez is the engineering leader that will help provide a quick overview of the program. We also have Eileen Tamayo, that is the outreach manager. So she and her team oversee all of the communications with our customers. And then we also have John Geraldo that oversees the construction. So other than you getting to see me, I wanted to make sure that you actually got to see the faces of the people actually doing the work. So with that, I'll turn it over to Carlos and we'll be here to answer any questions.
Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. As Amy mentioned, Carlos Nunez, the engineering lead for the Storm Secure Underground Program over in the East region. So that covers Boca, West Palm area, all the way up to Jupiter. Next slide, or is there a clicker? Yes, sorry about that.
You can move the microphone closer. There you go.
All right, so here's just an overview of how our hardening has evolved over the years. It really started with that overhead transmission line. So that's more on the Everglades side, those large metal poles out there. Those carry our larger 500 kV lines. It moved over into the main streets. So those are those hardened concrete poles that you might see when you're driving down major thoroughfares. And now our team is coming down the line and doing the last mile or so as it gets into the customer's meter. So these are poles that are in your neighborhood, in the backyards, or on alleyways. A large reason why we chose to go with an undergrounding approach versus overhead hardening as the previous programs had done was because of the images that you see right there, where a lot of these poles are in rear of and congested areas, lots of vegetation, not easily accessed. And as such, when storms do come by, to restore, it causes much longer times, and typically it's a larger endeavor, right? As opposed to undergrounding the lines. You go on below some of the stats. So underground lines perform not just better during storms, but during day-to-day operations, they perform 50% better, as well as they have obviously reduced interruptions due to vegetation. That's the major benefit of the program. The selection criteria, I know this is not the first time we presented, but just to give you an overview, so you were obviously selected. We're about 30% over with the outreach efforts. But the way it was selected and the way your town was selected was through these three main criteria, which is performance during named storms, during day-to-day operations, and the number of vegetation related outages and tickets. And then this kind of shows you a map of the area that's selected for this project. And we select them based on feeders. So if you're wondering why a certain section isn't highlighted or one is, it's because of that. It doesn't fall within that one feeder. That doesn't mean it won't be selected in future years, just not for this year. There is about 86 customers and 1.43 miles is what's totaled in this project. If you go through, you'll see the life cycle. So we are still in that first section of the project life cycle, which is the conceptual design and customer outreach. That typically spans through about a year. So we give the initial design to our outreach leads. They are a subcontractor of Pike called Bowman Consulting. And they go out and they acquire easements and junction box agreements with the customers. And after that, they'll give us that final outreach, and we will develop a final design for the program. And then later on, as it gets permitted and approved for the construction year, that will be handed to our construction manager to go through and actually build the project. Here you can see some of the identifiable information and outfit that the Bowman reps will be wearing. They should have a yellow vest that says FPL approved contractor, as well as a badge that says the same thing, an FPL hat, and an iPad. Although the iPad doesn't identify them as FPL, it's just something that they'll have out there.
Did this become an issue somewhere?
Did what?
Did this become an issue? The customer outreach specialists, they were accosted by.
So yeah, I mean, we constantly have complaints that we've seen arise from scammers or things like that. So that's why, as a result, we try to identify ourselves as best we can and make sure that we're not, confused with any other groups or programs that are out there.
And one thing that we always like to emphasize is there is no reason for any of our employees or our contractors to ever go inside a home. So for all of the necessities as it relates to inspecting the property, undergoing the conversations about the project, it is all outside of the properties. We did talk with Michelle, and we did give a heads up to PD to make sure that they were aware when our team was actually out on the ground. We want to make sure that we're respectful of privacy. But if there's ever any question about whether we are actually the ones that are outside doing outreach, customers are always encouraged to call our 1-800 number as well. It is more of a safety precaution, right? We want to make sure that if our people are on the ground, they are easily identifiable.
Gotcha. Thanks.
Yeah. Right. Here you can see this is a demo or demonstration and animation of the before and after photos. So our intended program is to remove those overhead facilities, so that overhead power line, the overhead transformer, and the end result should be a pad mounted transformer in the front of the property, along with a connection to the meter, either directly or using one of our junction boxes.
Well, I'm looking at the picture, but the pole's still there.
That's a
So
good
if the
question.
pole, what do you do with the transmission lines from the
It's there.
Bell South or Comcast or?
Perfect. That's one of our main questions that we get. So if nothing is on these poles, we will go ahead and pull them.
Mhm.
If there are other communications, other companies on those poles, we give them a 2-year look ahead, even before we start designing the program, letting them know, hey, we've selected this area. These are the poles that we've identified. As we're going through our designs, we then again inform them, hey, we've designed it, and these are going to be the ones. We submit that engines form. That's the way that they get notified, hey, that we've initiated this process. And then they'll be notified once again when we go into construction that, hey, you are the next to go, either remove your facilities, or in the case where they, decide that they want to stay on the pole, then we will give them transfer of ownership of the pole.
All right, wait. So are you saying then the pole stays there?
So we cannot force other entities, right? So we can't force Bell South.
Can
But
you-
it's your pole
can you
then.
invite them into your tube?
Into the pipe? No, the electric.
Yeah. Yeah, so completely understandable. And I know Christine and many neighbors have been very passionate about this topic. So we certainly appreciate it. Because this project is a regulated project from the Florida Public Service Commission, we are on a strict timeline to underground these lines in the time frame that we essentially are bound by. Because our communication partners are not regulated, they are also not governed by the Florida Public Service Commission. So their plans and their structure and their project is at their cost, and their timing sometimes differs. So we have communications with them well in advance, up to 2 years, on where our projects are. But then beyond that, it is a conversation that the town needs to have with our communication partners. To your question about whether they can be in the same conduit, no. Because this specific project is part of our storm protection plan, and that is a regulated project that essentially allows us to continue hardening our infrastructure. All of the costs associated with this project has been essentially paid by FPL ratepayers. So all of the maintenance, all of the operations for our infrastructure is specifically managed by FPL and our regulators. So we just cannot have a joint shared use of that specific conduit. But we do take the joint ownership of the poles as one of the first priorities before we even set foot.
How many poles, used are FPLs, and how many poles will be, so if you have 200 poles, what percentage of those poles will remain? Do you have an idea of that in our area that you're doing up here?
Double check those numbers. I'm not exactly sure. I would wager a guess the majority of them would have additional facilities on them,
Mhm.
Especially in a.
So you're getting underground, but
Yeah.
you'll leaving the poles. But
And
not you
it's-
guys,
and
but
the telephone
Yeah.
and Comcast.
right, we have to, but Michelle, we'd have to get the,
Question.
Yes.
How successful have you been in making this presentation to other utilities and suggesting that they might want to move things underground?
So let me answer your question in 2 ways, if I may. So we have been successful in continuing to underground our electric lines since 2017, when the project started. Many jurisdictions have been able to underground all of the different communication lines, sometimes with varying timeframes. So I can't say that we measure success of this project specifically with whether we have been able to underground Comcast and AT&T at the same timeframe as us, but we have had successful partnerships where we've been able to essentially coordinate different undergrounding projects as well as other projects that the municipalities may have, like water and sewage improvements. Because this project, again, is at no additional upfront cost to customers, our primary focus, again, is our electric lines. Other towns, for example, town of Palm Beach, Coral Gables, there's been so many others that actually choose to underground all of the facilities, doing the process themselves. That is a completely different initiative and a completely different team, that it's not even a reliability-driven initiative.
how long does it take to underground?
Yeah, as soon as construction does begin, especially in a project like this where it's all within one scope, shouldn't take more than 3 to 6 months at the latest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So I've got a question. I'm looking at your pictures up there, and they're great illustrations, but all the utilities are behind the homes.
Yes.
I'm not certain about where the utilities run in this area you're going to start out with, but I think in most of the town, they all run along the street. So
So, yeah,
that would change some of the outlook, because those of us that will have to still look at poles and lines will be looking, it'll be on the front of the house rather than the back where it's hidden.
yeah, if the poles are currently in the front of the properties, we'd still be undergrounding them. So of course, they'd be losing all the facilities that we have. So our cross arms, our transformers, our power lines. And then obviously this is all in the name of reliability. Meaning
Right.
if
No,
a storm
that's
passes
great.
by-
It's wonderful. I like that part a lot. I'm just asking about, the poles are still going to be there. And in this case, they're at the front of the homes and the utilities are going to run along the front of the street.
I will
Yes.
say that we've already had introductions to at least my government affairs counterparts to Comcast and AT&T, both to Michelle and the mayor. And I know there are other community members that are involved as well. We have heard you and have heard the value that you are putting on helping remove those poles. If I can be of assistance in those conversations, especially once we have a construction timeline defined, certainly bring us into it. Right now, we are still very early on in the outreach phase where we're trying to place the transformers, right? So if I can give you a little bit of comfort, we do have some time, right, to figure this out together. But the point for, the project itself, even though this depiction, excuse me, as you said, doesn't necessarily represent Ocean Ridge, the purpose of undergrounding these lines is due to the fact that you have faced reliability challenges. So we hope that at the end of the project, perhaps we can count Ocean Ridge as a success for undergrounding all the utilities.
Now, can we get FPL to do the whole town?
It is just a matter of time.
How much time?
What's the chart?
It's gotta be
They have a
selected.
chart.
It's got to be selected.
Yeah.
So
I
Unfortunately.
mean, can we get, hey, might as well just keep going. Once you start north and it's south.
So to give you a little bit of perspective, because again, this is a regulated project and because we go through hurricane season every single year,
Yeah.
those reliability metrics can change. So we have to file with the Florida Public Service Commission on an annual basis on the projects that are selected. At the end of that fiscal year, we actually go back and we say, hey, Commission, do you remember these projects that we said we were going to do? Here's what we were actually able to do. And we go through that cycle on an annual basis to make sure that we're staying true to those commitments, but that we're also undergrounding those communities that are actually facing the most challenges. So it's a moving target. That's why for us, it's a challenge. We can't give you a firm answer. I don't want to say, pray for a hurricane, but the reliability metrics, right, will speak for themselves and will allow them, to be able to allow us to essentially underground as quickly as
Well,
possible.
thank you.
So how do we, as a commission and town staff, attempt to get the utilities to join in this effort in this timeframe?
So you
Michelle,
have those conversations with Michelle.
Yeah.
If I may, Mr. Mayor.
You're doing it.
So your staff has already started that process. Thanks to Amy. She's created the contacts and so I've reached out and actually we've included some stakeholders from your community. And we started the conversations. What does it look like? Tell me about some other towns that have
Yeah.
done it successfully. And quite frankly, how much does it cost? Because it will be a sum of money that would have to be absorbed within the town. So we're here, FPNL is taking this portion of the town and undergoing it through all the ratepayers that are supporting this underground initiative. These would be items that come back to the town. And when Amy is mentioning the town of Palm Beach, your chief of police was sharing with me today a video on how well the town of Palm Beach is doing with their initiative. It's $128 million to put all of their utilities underground. And they've been doing this since about 2014. They're in their final stages. They cut their town up into about 8 sections. It takes about 2 years per section for construction.
Wow.
Any more questions?
Just how the longevity of a cable underground?
The longevity. I mean, we'd be maintaining it forever.
Forever.
Yeah. So
Because I remember we had a presentation like 10 years ago. And if you put them on the ground, 30 years, but it was a really pain in the ass to go on the ground and repair it.
So the purpose of this program, right, and the reason we do our own bore work, we install our own conduit, there's no other utilities within it, is so that we can replace the cables quickly and
Pretty
efficiently.
simply.
Yeah. And And yeah, the loop system itself means that if there is for some reason, a hit on one of the lines, or there is damage on one of the transformers, that the entire community isn't affected, and that we can isolate it to just them.
Super.
Oh, wow.
What do you use for conduit material?
PVC.
PVC.
Yeah.
All right, any other questions?
Can you help out on drainage?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it for coming.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Moving on to Mr. Colcat, I'm sorry, Colcat,
Doctor,
doctor. It doesn't say that, it says Ms.
I put PhD at the end of it.
I'm sorry about not calling you doctor.
No, no
He
worries.
doesn't mind.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. My name is Poonam Kalkat. I am the Utilities Director for City of Boynton Beach. And I actually have my Deputy Director here too, Josh McDermott. Is there anybody else? No, I don't see anybody else. So just wanted to come down. Michelle asked me to come give you a brief presentation on what the utilities is doing, what's happening, and so on and so forth, but I'm here to answer questions. If I didn't cover something and you have questions on that, please feel free to ask me. Next slide, please. This is just giving you a map of what utility area that the city utilities covers. So it's not just the city boundaries, but also some unincorporated areas of Palm Beach County, as well as some areas, obviously Ocean Ridge, Hypoluxo, Briny Breezes, and we have an interlocal agreement with Gulfstream that they're paying for a pipe so that they can get off Delray and come to Boynton Beach. So just showing you that, a little bit about how many customers we have. We have around 125,000 customers and 37,000 accounts. Ocean Ridge has around 740, I think, accounts in that group. And the rest is from city, unincorporated county, as well as Hypoluxo, Briny Breezes, and a couple of others, like smaller ones like that. In the utilities, we've got 10 divisions, and we have close to 150 employees. Our operational budget is 74 million, and CIP is around 36 million. Next slide, please. Briefly about the distribution system. Obviously, this is not your distribution system because the town owns its distribution pipes and valves and everything. So we control the meters coming to the town, and then past that is all maintained and managed by your staff. We work very closely with them if there's any need, if anything's going on, any projects you're doing in your distribution system. We work very closely. Our engineering group works very closely with the town's engineers, your consultants, as well as any construction contracts that are going on. We sometimes have sat on your selection committees if needed. And also, if there's any kind of emergency that happens in the town and you don't have the resources, having a little more resources than you, we are always willing and able to provide, even though they're in the agreements, there's kind of like, you'll be paid this much and you'll be paid. We don't do that. We don't nickel dime this because we consider you all as our customers and we work with you as such. We also have reclaimed water, and I'm just put down some kind of things about what kind of money we spend on our systems. And you all are doing a lot of work on your system. I see fire chief here. So we work very closely with our fire department and the fire chief to look at fire flow needs. And so I think last maybe 6 months or so, we've been having some meetings looking at what your fire flow needs are, how the distribution system needs to be upgraded and updated. Now, you are on septic, and if you ever want to come on sewer, then we'll be having another conversation to see how we can provide you sewer services at that point. Next slide, please. So the big things that are going to be impacting you and your customers is our water treatment plants. As you can see, our water treatment plants are getting old. Our East Water Treatment Plant was built in 1963, and it had some expansions in 78, and then we had an upgrade in 2017. Currently, for both, and West Water Treatment Plant was built in 1993, and we had some major upgrades in 2006. So both plants at this time are undergoing condition assessment. structural as well as treatment-wise. There are some treatment requirements that are coming down. We call them unregulated contaminants. You might have heard of PFOS, PFAS in the news. So there is an EPA deadline to make sure that all treatment plants meet those requirements. So we're going to work on that and get the plants so that they meet all the regulations that are required. That's going to be an expensive proposition. So we're working on that at this time. We also have some R&R. This is small R&R right now because we know we're going to be doing major upgrades at both plants in the coming years. Next slide, please. And just briefly about the East plant is traditional, conventional lime softening with filtration and sedimentation kind of treatment. The West plant has nanofiltration, and nanofiltration membranes. As we're doing the condition assessment, as we're looking at treatment options, most likelihood is that we're going to go for both plants to go into nanofiltration membranes or small RO plant or something like that. So we're looking at all the combinations and iterations to see what works out best. And the plants are connected by a 36-inch raw water main, and that's coming from our western well field, coming into the eastern well field and to the east plant. We have superficial aquifer wells, so groundwater is the source water for our treatment plants. And the western well field production is slightly better than the eastern side, so we are always managing the eastern well field. You've got to manage because of saltwater intrusion that can get in there if you overuse it. So we watch it very, very carefully. So we are lucky to have the other coastal cities that have pretty much used to have eastern well fields, and so they've had to abandon some of those wells. So it's good to have redundancy in the system. We also have 2 ASR wells, which are right now being used for finished water. So you basically treat the water, put it down the wells, and then you can withdraw them. But we are thinking that a much better use might be to kind of transform them into deeper wells, which are called Floridian wells, for the future, so we can have more redundancy as alternative sources of water. Next slide, please. Just talking a little bit about the water meters, as I had mentioned, the city has around over 37,000 AMI meters. These meters are old now. We have already passed their average lifespan. So these were all pretty much throughout the city. All the AMI meters were going to be replaced, and this was just as COVID hit. And as COVID hit, supply chain really, really started drying up. So it took us a little bit of time to get past that, and now we are in the meter change out operations. We have budgeted for the next few years to get all the meters changed out. And I think at this time, we've changed around 200 meters in the town, and the rest 500 or so will be changed out within the next few months and a year or so. Next slide, please. So the main big things that we are working on, we have a big CIP program for the city, but that doesn't impact you as much. The things that impact you are going to be really at the water treatment plants. So the utility has received a principal forgiveness state revolving fund loan for $5.4 million to evaluate both plants, look at doing a condition assessment, look at what's the best option for treatment for future. So we're really building for the next 30, 40 years, and also looking at what do we need to do in between if needed. Can we do things in phases to avoid having extra cost and so on and so forth? So all of that is going on at this time. And that, as I said, those are, we are looking at some of the plants that are already getting built in our neighborhood. Delray just got a utility bond for $150 million for one phase, and then they're going to go for another $150 million. So Pompano Beach, Palm Beach County is doing 2 of their plants. So most everybody throughout the country actually is looking at making these treatment changes in the next few years. So we are going to go do the evaluation, look at what our costs are going to be, look at what our financing options are, whether we go for any kind of loans or we go for issue a utility debt. All of those things are going to be what we're going to be considering in the next probably year and a half. We'll know which way we are going. So I'm hoping by January, February, I'll have a good idea about what our costs are going to be, so that then we can have those discussions as to what's the best way for us to fund these. But that's really what I had for you today. And if you have any questions, I can answer any questions or bring more information to you as needed.
Any questions for Dr. Kaka?
Nope.
Thank you so much.
Very
I
thorough.
really
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Welcome. Now on, so we did FPL, did the water, now we're on the gas, so. Mr. Monzon, Ari, from Florida Public Utilities.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Ari. I'm with Florida Public Utilities, the natural gas distributor in Palm Beach County. And tonight I wanted to share with you all the opportunity to expand our distribution into the city of the town of Ocean Ridge. My apologies. So next slide, please. So a little bit about our company. We currently do not provide any services in Ocean Ridge, but in Florida, we have 3,000 miles of pipeline. We serve a total of 28 counties, and we have 100,000 customers, residential, industrial, and commercial. One of the big projects that we've been having recently is the GUARD program, where we're changing up the infrastructure for safety mitigation risk and also just improving our overall services. Next slide. So the big question is, why natural gas? Why would you guys want to bring natural gas? And I sum it up in those 4 points up on the screen now, which is more value, more savings, more comfort, and a big topic of tonight, which is more reliability. So natural gas is 3.3 times more affordable than electricity and significantly more affordable than other residential energy sources. Households that use it for heating, cooking, and drying clothes save an average of $1,100 per year. And in terms of outages, it's nearly 100% reliable. 1 in 650 customers per year, planned or unplanned, have an outage, which is the biggest selling point, in my opinion. Next slide, please. So, and then holistically, it's an affordable and reliable energy source. It promotes economic development, which supports the industrial and commercial business, which I know we're mostly residential in Ocean Ridge, but and another fact, just in Florida, helps clean up our waterways with our renewable natural gas. So we use agricultural runoff and, organic fertilizer on local farms, RNG, which is a new technology. We're actually being able to create natural gas through renewable sources. So next slide. So yeah, I mean, this has been a topic of the night, but storm recovery. So natural gas, it's a reliable energy source. The natural gas pipelines are underground, which makes them even more resilient than the overhead electric lines, which are going away soon, but not for the entirety of the town. And they're less prone to storm damages. So this helps maintain services during hurricanes or during powerful rain showers, which we had a little bit earlier today. It powers backup generators. So in bigger areas, hospitals, emergency operation centers, nursing homes, and shelters all depend on natural gas generators to keep their life-saving equipment and services running through outages. There's faster restorations. Typically, we weather storms better than electric utility lines, so communities can restore energy services more quickly and speeds up overall recovery. We also support first responders, so police, fire stations, and emergency management centers rely on natural gas systems and generators to stay operational during these critical response times. So next steps. So how could we actually, get through and figure this out? So a lot of it hinges on having our team complete our engineering team complete a feasibility study to understand the cost associated with extending our gas line. So today we met with staff to discuss how we could bring natural gas to the city with the goal of all residents that want to have natural gas have the ability and access to obtain natural gas. So the feasibility study is given completely free of charge. We would ideally bring the lines up through the south. If you see at the bottom left picture, our latest line is that red bottom on the red line to the right, all the way on the right, and that leads up to the blue line. So that would be the most economical at this point, at this early stage of the study, would be the most possible way of achieving, bringing the gas line up. The one issue that we have right now currently is that it is a one-way feeder, so we're not sure if we extend it all the way, whether or not we'd have enough gas to feed the city. Because obviously the whole point of extending service would be for there to be the reliability and being able to have natural gas at all times. So there's currently that gas main, which I just mentioned at Little Club Road and A1A. And as soon as we can, figure out the cost of bringing that gas up, the actual lines and meters at every home would be as needed. The estimate would depend on each residential connection. We offer rebates based on appliances. So there's even opportunity that if you have certain appliances, we might not even charge, to connect the house at all. It really depends on a case by case basis. But in my opinion, in terms of reliability, the natural gas, stoves and generators are, our biggest selling point of appliances that people would like to convert. So there's also my contact information up there, my email. You all have my business cards as well. So it's my personal cell. I'm a call or text away. So any other questions you guys have, please let me know.
So on the barrier island, what's your next, there isn't natural gas in Manalapan, I'm assuming.
Well, there is, but to connect it over the bridge would be the issue. Again, it's all cost basis, so it would be more affordable to bring it up A1A than to cross over.
And what would you say is the average connection charge per household?
I would say it depends on the appliances. So if there's no appliances being converted for natural gas, it would probably be around $4,000 just for the generator. That's what I would say. But I mean, once you do the rebates with the water heaters and the gas stoves, honestly, it becomes easier to just convert.
Well, what cost on that?
Sorry?
It was 4,000 if you don't have gas appliances, but if you do, the cost was.
So depending how many appliances get converted, I know it's $4,000 just based on if only doing the generator. In terms of different appliances, it would depend. I don't have that number now, but I would be able to.
You're saying it's less.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, it would go down. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, if you're getting more, the price would go down. It would depend. I wish I could have an answer but.
So I've been waiting a long time to do this again.
I know, I knew we'd have to bear through this.
Yeah, so there's in 2006, we got a price, I got a price for $286,000 to run the line all the way straight through A1A. And it was $1 million and change to do every single street, which is 13 miles of streets in our town. And it came out to about $333.33 per parcel. So I know that's not going to be close, but can you what's the old saying, sharpen your pencil? It was $20 per foot back then, $20. So yeah, as fast as we can get this price, because it actually, what it does is, it actually goes to the next step with the infrastructure we're trying to do here in town. Because if we have the natural gas at that point, then we can actually feeds our generators. Because right now it can feed the generators that do our drainage. So we're relying on the diesel. The diesel can run out. But it also could power the generators that have to be on some of the tops of streets in order if you ever want to do a sewer system. So that when this generator goes down, when the power goes out, the generator kicks on, it's natural gas, which is almost 100% reliability. And we have the generators natural gas, we have our generators of house natural gas, the lines are underground, and we become completely pretty much self-sufficient.
Yeah, and a small point to that point, Mayor, I would say is the energy diversification is a big selling point, in my opinion, not just for us, not just for FP&L, but just in general, being able to know that you have power coming from somewhere, whether it's us, FP&L, for your community, I think is the biggest selling point that you guys could have in doing.
Yeah, well, imagine if you have natural gas, you have the generator and you have the water heater. That means you can turn your lights on and take a shower in hot water. After her.
Trust me, I had an outage during Irma and I missed that.
Flush your
Propane
toilet
tank.
and flush your toilet.
Propane's run out. So gas not good.
We do also provide propane services, actually. I was just on the right along this morning, but natural gas is more reliable. I will say that.
Natural gas. This town needs natural gas. Part of our.
But like I mentioned, my information's up there. Any more questions you guys think of after, I'm more than happy to answer them. And I'll work on getting those exact numbers as soon as possible too.
Yeah, you said that the feasibility study for free, right?
Yeah, 100% for free.
And I've got a question. You said it's $4,000 hookup for a single family home.
That's the average. It
doesn't-
depends. It
if
depends,
it-
but yes, that
if
would
it's
say
just a
normal,
generator.
just a generator.
Now,
Mhm.
let's assume that's what most people were looking forward at,
Mhm.
but down the line, you know, we have electric appliances, then we could consider replacing them with natural gas powered appliances. Do you get a benefit if you switch over from electric
Yes.
appliance after the?
Yes, yeah. So the selling point would be, you know, not biased, but if you were converting to appliances, we offer rebates, which would make the cost of connecting service cheaper because you don't consume natural gas unless the power goes out, right? That's the theory with a generator. So that's why we charge for the install. But if we're feeding natural gas to your stove or your water heater on a consistent basis, that would be
Don't forget your
the
dryer,
cost sharing.
your
yeah.
clothes dryer.
Hmm?
Your
Yeah,
clothes dryer.
and yeah, I use washer dryer. Yeah.
You don't use,
No, I'm saying I'm saying my washer and dryer actually runs off propane, so that's why.
Propane.
Yeah.
no propane. Steve.
No.
You just said propane.
You can get your money back on the lease on your tank. All right, well, any other questions for Ari?
So you definitely, I have a consensus for him to move forward. We're
Absolutely.
getting that information for you. Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you all for having me.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
So the fire chief, Steve, you wanna present that?
Thank you.
All righty, moving on to our announcements. Kelly? Thank you, Ari. You don't have to stay.
Thank you. All right, the meeting schedule for the next month is as follows. The regular town commission meeting will be Monday, November 3rd at 6 p.m. Our next code enforcement hearing is tomorrow, October 7th at 10 a.m. The next planning and zoning board meeting is Tuesday, October 21st at 9 a.m. And all meetings are held in the commission chambers at Town Hall. Town Hall will be closed Monday, October 13th in observance of Columbus Day holiday. And the annual municipal election will be held on March 10th, 2026. There are 2 town commission seats open for a 3-year term. Candidate filing dates run from November 3rd at noon through November 14th at noon in the town clerk's office. The town is hosting a blood drive with One Blood on Saturday, October 11th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. The bus will be parked behind Town Hall. All those who wish to donate blood can sign up through a link posted on the town website. And any residents who wish to receive important town notifications and news through Civic Ready should sign up on the town's website or call Town Hall for assistance.
I got a quick question. When the bus was parked out front, did you get more traffic than it was since it's parked in the back?
They do.
So why just unpark?
Usually on Saturdays, they will park in the front.
Mhm.
We have it both days. They don't do it on the Friday usually because daily business.
All right,
So they usually go to the back, but I think on the Saturday, they probably will be parked on the front.
okay. All right, public comment. Terry?
Terry Brown, Harbor Drive South. I've been invited to address an issue that's not as big as these issues, but it has to do with the median strip coming into Harbor Drive where 2 commissioners live on the same street over there, and you see it every day. I know that we switched contractors to take care of that area. Now, Billy Armstrong, not Armstrong, Blackman, who owns Able Tree, did the Silver Buttonwood, and they're in great shape. But everything else is pretty ratty looking. These people trim the muley grass when it's blooming. They use Roundup around the edge of the median strip. Some of the Green Island bike is dying. So it needs to be replaced, and it should be at their expense. The front, the announcement when you come in has this beautiful Kunti that they whack down and burn. They cut it so far down it burns, and it looks terrible. So that's my complaint for you. And I know that Michelle is new to this type of complaint, but someone needs to talk to a supervisor at that company. You're paying them big bucks all over town, right? And every month someone approves the invoice, but no one goes out and looks at their work. But I keep an eye on it for you.
Appreciate that.
Didn't you guys form a committee when you were?
Yes. Larry,
Why didn't the committee meet with that head of Able?
Jerry Lauer and myself talked to a couple of administrators back and got it where it is now in terms of the planting. And it worked great. for a long time until you switch people.
Well, it's Delray Garden Center now.
Is it though?
And the reason I also, all I asked them to do is taking how the feeders were coming off, the feeders were coming off the island. I
Yeah,
asked them, just cut them back so the feeders aren't all into the street, and that's what we got.
yeah.
So
I mean, and that's when it blooms.
uh,
It has a beautiful purple bloom on it.
careful what you wish for, Terry.
Anyway, I wanted to mention something else too, because I had talked about it before, that someone mentioned the volume of the sand that's going to be deposited on the shoreline. If someone doesn't pull that funding yet. But the thing that I want to remind people is that the shoreline will increase for a while, hopefully for years, and that becomes public access. If you use public funds to put sand on the beach, the little grains of sand belong to the public, even though the property might be privately owned. Doesn't change the border of the property. But that becomes a wider access for people at the shoreline. So you can't be running people off beaches that the taxpayers put the sand there. And we know that some of that sand's going to drift south anyway. So I just want to remind people of that. You'll say, well, that guy's a real pain in the you know what. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Anyone else? Oh, we got two. I'm sorry.
Rafe.
Where's the-
Stella Kolb, 204 Beachway.
Welcome home.
Thank you. I just wanted to say kudos to the town for this, that I'm watching it on TV at home. I get 2 hours of relaxation with no kids bothering me. The sound is great. The video is great. I can see all of you. Love the system. If there's a way for you guys to be able to say, oh, someone wants to call in and be able to talk through it, great. If not, no problem. And another thing I was just going to just mention is that I wouldn't like those poles there either. But if those transformers are gone, that's going to be a big plus for fire and for the explosions we have, because we've had so many in our neighborhood and they just blow up. I hate those transformers. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Lisa?
Lisa Ritoto for Hudson. Hi guys, you're doing an amazing job, as I said to each of you individually before, but my concern is I happened to take a little stroll to the beach the other day and Edith Street stairs have disappeared again from the storm. So, and it's not the first time this has happened, but what I would like to, and I don't know who gets the say-so for doing this, as much as I love those stairs, I would like wider stairs when they get replaced. Because what we had, if we're not that I personally bring big bulky things down to the beach, but the stairs compared to all the other public accesses in Ocean Ridge were the most narrow stairs that have been placed in Ocean Ridge. So if we could widen them, whether what is currently there that's down in the dune right now, down in the beach, can be reused or not, I have no idea because you can't see any of it because it's all messed up with the vegetation. But with new stairs and perhaps a better design instead of it angling so harshly at the base. And I had several young kids off Hudson yesterday down there with me, and they were saying the same thing. If they want to bring their paddle boards, their surfboards, their kayaks, whatever down, it's so much harder to gain access to the beach. And we're not getting any younger. I'm not getting any younger. I want something a little more conducive to my age to be able to get down onto the beach. So whoever has the say-so on that, I'm happy to put my 2 cents in. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Are we looking at repairing those, Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting a price from the. Hey, Betty.
Betty Bingham, 1 East Ocean Avenue. First, I would like to thank everyone for the help we've gotten on the corner. However, I still don't think that light post is.
Oh my gosh.
But,
bad.
But
Give me a
the
wall.
engineer said he doesn't know who the power broker is in Ocean Ridge that made them act so fast. And he has never dealt with nicer people when they're disagreeing with. I just thought I'd pass those kudos along. Number 2, backing up what Terry said about we've got to stop people from throwing their clippings on the planting of the town So there are places where there's no shrubbery left because when the thing comes with its hook, it pulls the plants out too. There ought to be some fine that makes them replace it. And they are going to replace the liribe that they took out on
Okay.
Ocean Avenue.
Thank you, Betty.
Joe Belmonte, 5600 North Ocean. I'd just like to make a comment, three comments. First one is about natural gas, because when we had the hurricanes in 04 and 05, we had to put our garden hose out in the driveway for the sun to heat it so my wife could take a shower. So for about 60 seconds every couple of days, there would be a naked woman in the driveway getting hosed off. And so I think that's a good idea. The other thing is it'll be 25 years that my wife and I moved to Ocean Ridge. It'll be 25 years next year. And when we first moved here, I was using my smokeless indoor grill, which immediately set the smoke alarm off. And the police were at the door within seconds. And we said, we're sorry. And we opened the doors and let the smoke out. But then the police wanted to eat what I was cooking. So I thought about, well, now we have a fine, or we used to anyway, when the alarm kept going off, that we were talking about fines about 6, 7 years ago. And I think the fine should not be a monetary fine. It should be feeding the police when they come for an alarm that you set off. And that would save on the lunch money that we have to pay for our police. Oh, we don't do that, do we? But anyway, third thing is I just read about Manalapan having their sharpshooter on the police force down there shooting iguanas. And my wife told me, you go and tell them that's a great, great idea. Because boy, oh boy, there's no more hibiscus plants left. They just love those things.
You have a sharpshooter.
I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it.
Mike's a sharpshooter.
But I want to thank our police force, really, is why I'm up here, because one of the reasons, every now and then you talk about moving someplace, and my wife says, I will not move, because if that alarm goes off, the police are right there. They're in the front, they're in the back, another car comes. So I want to thank you guys for, and that's the reason I'm up here, really.
Thank you, Joe.
Good seeing you.
Anybody else? All right, bring it back to the commission. Let's move on to the approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the consent agenda as published.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those.
Quick question.
Sure.
TSC Consulting, is their rate the same?
The rate is the same.
Okay. It didn't specify. That's why I was curious. Thank you.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, public hearing items. Michelle, you want to do that?
Approval of the ordinance 2025-01 will be a second reading, and it is amending the comprehensive plan of the town of Ocean Ridge. You have the planner here to speak about it, Corey.
Mayor Commissioners, Corey O'Gorman, Town Planner. This was approved in second reading August 8th, and this item is on your agenda this evening to correct a procedural error. There is a timing submittal requirement in the statutes that I was unaware of, and we missed the deadline for submitting the amended plan to the state. So this item is requesting that you rescind that August 8th approval and readopt the comprehensive plan by second reading in separate motions.
Anything, Christie?
No, Mr. Mayor, just the first motion would be the motion to rescind the second reading on August 8th. If that is approved, then we would go into second reading again with the clerk reading the title. And if approved, then we would send it up to Department of Commerce within the 10-day window that we have.
So she read you an inadvertent and resend, and then she reads.
We rescind first, do a motion to rescind second reading. If that approves, then we'll go into second reading with the clerk reading the title of the ordinance.
I move to rescind.
Are there any penalties or repercussions to the town for having missed a deadline?
No. Only that we have to rescind and readopt.
All right, is there a motion to rescind?
Public.
I move to rescind.
I make a motion to rescind the August 8th, 2025 second reading.
I'll second.
Public comment? Hearing none? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right. Kelly, you want to read the ordinance, please?
Ordinance 2025-01, an ordinance of the Town of Ocean Ridge, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan of the Town of Ocean Ridge with the 2025 evaluation and appraisal review of the year, based amendments, providing for recitals, adoptions, conflicts, repeal, severability, applicability, transmittal, and an effective date.
Okay, is there a motion?
I make a motion to readopt the new comprehensive plan 2020, or the corrected comprehensive plan ordinance 2025-01 on second reading.
Second.
Public comment? All right, hearing none, back to the commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion
Aye.
carries. Okay, moving to regular agenda items. Motion number 2025-20. Christie, is that you?
That
Or
is
is that
the
gonna be
town
Kelly?
clerk.
All right, Kelly,
All right.
you're up.
This is for something that we do every year for the election. It's to basically adopt or appoint the county's canvassing board to be our canvassing board instead of having someone from the town as well as myself be on that canvassing board for the elections.
Okay,
So
all right, is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution 2025-20 as presented.
Second.
Motion second, public comment?
Mr. Mayor, if we can just read the resolution. We
You have
okay?
to.
No,
No.
you're good.
And
Okay.
presented.
It's just- Okay.
All right, so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion
Aye.
carries. 19. Michelle?
This is a resolution 2025-21, and it is approving the submission of an appropriations project request in the same way that you all moved to ask for $600,000 in the previous year's legislative delegation timeline. We're asking again, if it's okay with this commission, then your staff will move forward with that paperwork to request $600,000 for the Phase 2 portion of our water main project. It was vetoed last year, and so we are submitting again because it's a great project and it makes sense that they should
Why
be a
not
partner
try?
with us. Absolutely.
And we learned a lot last year, so.
So I move that we accept resolution 2025-20.
Dash 21.
Second.
Second.
Public comment? We're going for more money. We're going to try again.
Grant money, appropriation money.
All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, number 20, resolution 2025-22.
Mr. Mayor, that's a resolution for the town commission, and we are asking for the designation of the town manager, the town deputy treasurer, the treasurer, and another designee, which would be a total of 5 commissioners as well. So what this is for TD Bank. TD Bank requires anytime that we change signature authorities to create a new resolution. And so this resolution will allow us to have 2 more staff members on that TD Bank solely to help us pay bills. This will not in any way change the signature authorities for anything with the town. So it will still require myself or Kelly as our counterparts with you, the commissioners, or 2 commissioners to sign any checks.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move
to-
that, I move that we approve resolution 2025-22 as presented.
Second.
Motion is second. Public comment? All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Motion carried. All right. Michelle?
Mr. Mayor and Commissioners, Vice Mayor, what I'd like to do is ask you all formally, I think we talked about it during our one-on-ones, to come together on November 3rd for a workshop. And I would like this workshop to discuss future capital projects and the associated financial requirements to be able to move forward on that. And quite frankly, this was something that Commissioner Ala brought up probably 3 or 4 one-on-ones ago, where he said, I would love to have a time where we all come together and just talk about our vision for how we get these projects done and how we can do it most effectively with our finances. And I thought that that was right. But we needed to get through the budget session. And so in November, this would allow us to not only talk about where we're at with what you've already prioritized, but also prioritized what you want to do in 2027 and 2028, and then create some alignment with the finances.
All right, you'll put that in an outline and have all the information.
We'll have a great agenda
What
for
time?
you. I was thinking 2 p.m. as a workshop, and that would be the same day that you have a 6 p.m. meeting. So we can go 2 p.m. until it's done, an hour, 2 hours, and it would give you time to go home and have dinner before you come back for the meeting, or we could do it anytime that you prefer.
Billy, I was just looking at my calendar, the 4th, the next day is election day. Does that affect staff? No, you're good.
Yeah, we will probably have the partition drawn at that point. And so it'll be a reduced audience for anybody that wants to come at 2 p.m. for that meeting, also that evening, since we have the election materials on the other side. But I would want you to expect that when you come, we won't be sitting like this either. I'm going to have you set up down
That's
front
the
here
workshop part.
in a board, yeah. And so that you can have
I just wanted you to be aware. It's like, I
better
don't know.
conversations.
Doesn't affect you, fine. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
2 o'clock works for you all? Okay, then with that consensus, we'll go ahead and put it on the schedule. The other thing I would like to update you on is I want to take this opportunity to thank Katina, our deputy clerk, and to let you know that the wonderful job that was done on town hall flooring for the front part, she was the project manager on that.
Right.
And we empowered her to get it done, and she did the procurement process and pushed them, and then really did a great job of scheduling it around all of our meetings and the special election that was going on. And the outcome is, I think, very, very nice.
And we also have the new mat at the front door. with our-
Yes, sir. Yes, and we can thank the vice mayor for initiating that. He said, why is that mat so
It was
bad
all
up front?
filthy. Yeah.
And, coming from, I have a strong retail background, and so when I walked out there I said that was absolutely correct. You can't walk in here. So the goal was that it was supposed to be done by the public hearings in September, knowing that most of our people were coming for the public hearings during budget time. And because we made the decision to put the branding on it, it became a specialized project, and it took a full 5 weeks. So I apologize for it not being out there in September. Worth the wait. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Any questions for Michelle? All right, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you.
Christie,
No report this evening. Thank you.
Chief?
Yes, sir. My August report's in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Crime is down, officers doing good. Fraud is, we still get them in. We're trying to push out, get the word out there. We did it in town newsletter, pushed out civic ready alerts, just trying to make the public aware about these scams.
Thanks, Chief. Fire Chief?
Yeah.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners. I'm honored to be before you again. We had 16 calls for service in Ocean Ridge last month with an average response time of 4 minutes and 41 seconds. 9 of them were emergency medical service transports. We had 4 alarm ringings and 2 public assists. We also had 4 water rescue calls within the waterways surrounding Ocean Ridge and Boynton. And that leads me actually into something that we're extremely excited about. And I think the last time I was before you, we mentioned the new Fire Station 6 public safety marine complex, which has taken us years to get to the point where we are, but we are getting ready to go to our commission for final approval on this absolutely spectacular facility, which is going to be directly across from Ocean Ridge at Oyer Park. And it's going to house an advanced life support fire engine, which is also going to have technical rescue capability. And that crew will also cross-man the new fireboat, which will be here in November. So
I was gonna say, when are we getting a ride on the fireboat?
well, that's going to be, we're going to do that just for you guys. Yeah, forever. But we're super excited. I think this is going to be an award-winning facility. We're actually partnering up with the police department. They're going to have access and right across at the dock, as you heard me mention before, we were awarded a grant to build the public safety dock, which will house the police and the new fireboat. We're also allowing the Coast Guard Auxiliary to have some space so they can continue their mission of doing boat inspections on the water. And we're really excited about this because I think already we have some amazing response times to the town. I think the response times are going to even improve. I think I mentioned that we have rolled out the Phoenix Station recall system. We have a little API integration issue with CAD, but we're super close to rolling that out, which could actually reduce response times by another 60 seconds. So
Wow.
if we can see sub 4-minute response times to your town, I think that would be just spectacular. Time is brain, time is heart muscle. So, we want to get here as quickly as we can. And then having that asset of the fireboat is going to be just critical, not only to serve the inlet and the waterways of both of our communities, but it's going to be a great resource. And we're looking forward to do some training with the chief and his men and women. And I think it's going to be a great resource for all of us. So I just want to share that. If you scroll through a little bit, you'll see some of the pictures here of this. This is spectacular. We actually went and looked at a bunch of other coastal fire departments around the country in order for us to come up with the design. It's going to be a 3-story station. The bay and a lot of our equipment will be on the first floor. Second floor will be some offices for PD and the Coast Guard, and then the fire station itself will be on the 3rd floor. I think every one of my firefighters, including some of my chiefs, are wishing that, hey, chief, can I move my office to the new station overlooking? And if you see on that picture, those 2 upper right, those are actually going to be little areas where you'll be able to get some rest and relaxation overlooking the water. So I think that'll be really nice.
That's your office, which.
I don't think they're going to let me move my office there, but I will be visiting there quite often as well. But we're super excited about it. And I did promise you, as soon as we did get some elevations and some drawings and floor plans, we would share them with you because it is going to be a critical part of our marine response, as well as increasing our fire response to the community. So I'm sorry?
Is it Cat 5 rated or was?
It will be Cat 5 rated. Yes.
So maybe save our.
Oh, absolutely. Well, think about this, though. I would rather work with you to give you space at headquarters, because if we do go into a Cat 5 storm, Cat 4, Cat 5 storm, we're going to evacuate all our coastal stations. Right. So Station 1, which is over by City Hall, Station 4, which is on the south side of the community, just south of Woolbright, and then Station 6, all those stations will be evacuated if we're Cat 4, Cat 5. I would definitely like to have dialogue with you and offer you some office space, near our emergency operations center. We're actually right now in the midst of a really highly technical refit of our EOC, and I'd love to have you participate in that because you can run your whole EOC from there if you'd like. So yeah, and that'll be a no cost thing because of our relationship. So we'll definitely be able to work with you on that.
That's a great idea.
So I had an idea. I don't know if it's feasible. The airboat with the water shooting up, Christmas parade, the boat parade, to bring up the tail end of it.
We'd love that. In fact, we're going to be keeping the boat anytime that there's any holidays, any kind of special events, 4th of July, any kind of events that you may have within the town that are annual events that are surrounding water type of events. Yeah. We're going to have special detail, and we're going to have that boat in the water all day, as well as the PRPD boat with yours. But we'd love to participate. The boat, actually, we just found out that Silver Ships offered to paint it for us for free, which
really,
yeah, it's like a $20,000 paint job. We weren't going to paint the boat, but they called and said, hey, we've got some leftover paint. Can we paint your fireboat? And I said, yeah, twist my arm. So it's going to be a gorgeous boat. As soon as I get those mock-ups at next month's meeting, I'll come back and I'll show you all the pictures of the fireboat. They're just spectacular as well.
Fantastic.
So, yeah, thank you. Does anybody have any further questions?
I just, when I was looking at the Station 6 up there, it kind of reminded me of Motel 6.
Funny.
God forbid, sir. God forbid.
Oh, I understand, but it does, it does look like it.
It kind of does. Maybe we need to change the font in that 6. A Maltese cross with the 6. Yeah, that's a great idea. Thank you, sir. I will take that. My pleasure. Thank you again. Appreciate it.
Is there anything else? Meeting adjourned. Thank you for coming. Hey, you lost your brain came out. I know. Well, I have to admit, the FP